Do you know the highest point on Earth? You might think that it may be 10,000 feet, or you may think it can be 20,000 feet, but actually it is 29,029 feet off the world's highest peak, which is the Mount Everest. And today we will recall the journey of the first ever successful summit of the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. So after providing you the glimpse about it, we will further move towards discussing the journey of these Braveheart mountaineers. Short note on Mount Everest. First things first, Mount Everest sits on the crest of the Great Himalayas in Asia. It lies on the border between Nepal and Tibet, called Chomo Lungma, or Mother Goddess of the Land, by the Tibetans. The Englishmen named the mountain after Sir George Everest, a 19th century British surveyor of South Asia. The summit of Everest reaches 2/3 of the way through the air of the Earth's atmosphere at about the cruising altitude of jet airliners and oxygen levels that are very low. Temperatures are extremely cold and weather is unpredictable and dangerous. How the journey begins. Act 1. The journey of this expedition started when John Hunt, a British Army colonel, was serving on the staff at Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe, and he was invited by Joint Himalayan Committee of the Alpine Club and the Royal Geographical Society to lead the British Everest expedition of 1953. Eric Shipton has been widely expected to be the leader because he had led the Mount Everest reconnaissance expedition from Nepal in 1951, as well as the unsuccessful Cho Oyu expedition in 1952, from which most of the climbers selected had been drawn. However, the committee had decided that Hunt's experience of military leadership, together with his credentials as a climber, would provide the best chance for the expedition to succeed. The British felt under particular pressure, and the French had received permission to mount a similar expedition in 1954 and the Swiss another in 1955, meaning that the British would not have another chance at Everest until 1956 or later. Act 2. So, the party departed from Nepal from Tilbury, Essex, England, aboard the SS Stratheden bound for Bombay on 12 February. Bar Tom Bourdillon, Dr. Griffith Pugh, and Hunt, who was ill with an antrum infection. Evans and Alfred Gregory flew on ahead to Kathmandu on 20 February as the advance party. Hillary and Lowe approached Nepal from New Zealand, Lowe by sea and Hillary by air, as his bees were in a busy state of that time of year. In Kathmandu, the party was looked after by the British ambassador Christopher Summerhayes, who arranged rooms for the embassy staff, there being no hotels in Kathmandu at the time. In early March, 20 Sherpas who had been chosen by the Himalayan Club arrived in Kathmandu to help carry loads to the western CWM and the south Colonel, where they were led by Sirdar Tenzing Norgay, who was attempting Everest for the 6th time. The first party, together with 150 porters, left Kathmandu for Mount Everest on 10th March, followed by the second party and 200 porters on 11th March. They reached Tian Bong She on 26 and 27 March, respectively, and between 26 March and 17 April engaged in altitude acclimation. Planning for expedition from this point onwards. So, Hunt planned for 3 assaults of 2 climbers each, including a third and last attempt, if necessary, although after 2 consecutive assaults, a wait for some days would be necessary to recover their strength and to replenish the camps. The plan for the first 2 assaults had been announced by Hunt on 7th May. The first assault party, using closed-circuit oxygen equipment, was to start from Camp 8 and to aim to reach the south summit, and if possible the summit, composed of Tom Bourdillon and Charles Evans, as only Bourdillon could cope with experimental sets. The second assault party, using open-circuit oxygen equipment, was to be the strongest climbing pair, Ed Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, to start from Camp 9, higher on the south corner. The third assault party would have been Wilfrid Noyce and Mike Ward. If the spring expedition failed, a post-monsoon autumn attempt would be undertaken, as the Swiss had done in 1952, though permission was for the whole year, although the Swiss arrived too late. So, how did the expedition proceed? So, a series of advanced camps were created, slowly reaching higher up the mountain. Camp 2 at 19,400 feet was established by Hillary, Band, and Lowe on 15th April. Camp 3 at the head of the icefall at 20,200 feet on 22nd April, and Camp 4, the advanced base, at 21,000 feet by Hunt, Bourdillon, and Evans on 1st of May. These 3 made a preliminary reconnaissance of the Longtse face on the 2nd of May, and Camp 5 at 22,000 feet was established on 3rd of May. On May 4, Bourdillon and Evans, supported by Ward and Wiley, reached Camp VI at 23,000 feet on the Lhotse base, and just under a fortnight later, on 17th of May, Wilfrid Noyce and Lowe established Camp VII at 24,000 feet. By 21st of May, Noyce and the Sherpa and Lowe, the younger brother of Tenzing, had reached the south corner just under 26,000 feet. The first of two climbing pairs previously selected by Hunt, Tom Bourdillon and Charles Evans, set out for the summit on 26th of May. They successfully made the first ascent of the 28,700 feet south summit by 1 p.m., coming within 300 feet of the final summit. They could see that between the south summit and the summit was a thin crest of snow and ice on rock, with a rock step, the Hillary Step. Before starting, Evans had a problem with a damaged valve in his oxygen set, which took about an hour to fix. They then climbed at the unprecedented rate of almost 1,000 feet per hour. At 28,000 feet, when they changed soda lime canisters, Evans' set had another problem which Bourdillon could not fix. Evans kept going, but his breathing was painfully labored. They reached the south summits at 1 p.m. at that time, the highest summit climb, but were forced to turn back at 1:20 p.m. after becoming exhausted, defeated by problems with the closed-circuit oxygen sets and the lack of time. The first successful summit. On the 27th of May, the expedition made its second assault on the summit with a second climbing pair, the New Zealander Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing Norgay from Nepal. Norgay had previously ascended to a record high point on Everest as a member of the Swiss expedition of 1952. They left Camp 9 at 6:30 a.m., reached the south summit at 9 a.m., and reached the summit at 11:30 a.m. on 29th of May 1953, climbing the south corner route. Before descending, they remained at the summit long enough to take photographs and to bury some sweets and a small cross in the snow. So, at 11:30 a.m. on May 29, 1953, Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay, a Sherpa of Nepal, became the first explorers to reach the summit of Mount Everest, which, at 29,035 feet above sea level, is the highest point on Earth. The second part of a British expedition made their final assault on the summit after spending a fitful night at 27,900 feet. News of their achievement broke around the world on June 2, the day of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, and Britons hailed it as a good omen for their country's future. And if that wasn't just a good omen for the new queen, it was a great achievement for mankind. Like reaching the top of the world is an amazing feeling for those brave men who successfully summited Mount Everest. It was a feeling of honor for them to have done this commendable heroic act for their respective country. Maybe Neil Armstrong is the one who felt more extraordinary than these guys. Just kidding. To be honest, both the achievements were the next big step for humans. They proved the fact that there's nothing that man can't summit, either it's the highest peak or even the moon. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos. Hit the bell icon to get the notifications each and every time when we upload a new video. See you in the next one. Until then, peace out.